At last, the sun has come out, and here we are, the 258th Govan Fair, back in Elder Park after 10 years. Ta-da!
The Govan Fair is famous all over the world. Govanites come back here. The people of Govan is changed in the last 4 or 5 years. It's now a mixed ethnic groups, but we're all mixing together. There's no racism, and to say that, it's a big thing. We've been here in Govan, our family's been here in Govan for 150 years.
How excited are you for tonight's event and for the weekend?
Am I excited? No, I'm not as excited as I should be because the waltzers should be going faster.
Oh dear, this is a great idea.
This is one of the most famous rides on the fair. The waltzers, it's always been famous.
Yep. And as for the fair itself and the importance to Govan, how important is it to Govan?
It's fantastic for Govan, the fair. Absolutely fantastic. It's the main event here after the parade. The main event. Now we're going another way, anti-clockwise. Are you okay? Would you like a wee basket?
I'm good. Yeah.
You need a drink of water or something? Will I call a nurse?
I need something stronger than water, I think. Well, it's not every day you get to go on a waltzer with the chairman of the Govan Fair. Thanks, Jimmy. How was that for you?
I'm holding on to you.
And how would you describe the people of Govan?
The population's coming back. A long time ago, there was people with the shows because the shows used to be here for a week when the Govan Fair was on. So I think this is the start of a new beginning for the Govan Fair.
And what would be your message to the people of Govan with this fair on their doorstep?
Come to the Govan Fair. The Govan Fair in Govan. It's a fantastic event. We will enjoy it. It's a family fun day and Saturday, Friday and Saturday.
He gets all the good jobs, doesn't he?
He really does. Look at all the fun he's having.
Lorraine, have you ever done an interview on the waltzers before?
That's the first time I've ever seen that done. It was priceless. That poor boy. That poor child.
Told the story.
He was white and then green.
Yeah, and then the same colour as the guy's beard next to him as well.
That was great. That was real good fun.
I know, at the Govan Fair. So it's so sick after he couldn't even eat his candy floss. He was raging. And we're going to go back to Colin at Parkhead right now. You've had a busy day, Colin, but it's not getting any quieter because, of course, Celtic have a new Norwegian gaffer.
Well, at least I'm not conducting interviews in waltzers just now. I mean, that's much, much better. No, I'm joined by Thomas Jordan from the Sunday Post and Norwegian football expert Christian Wolff. Now, Christian, before the break, you mentioned that Deila is a good man-manager. Any potential issues with any of the Celtic players here?
Well, I think the main issue is he needs to do this in a completely different setting. That is, obviously he has to do it in English. His English is good, but he needs to immerse himself more in that. The squad has had in Strømsgodset has been, there have either been young players that he's brought in or older experienced players that support his project, and he's almost a second lieutenant. So he's coming to a completely different squad where most of the players are in the peak years, they're internationalists, and they have probably got quite clear ideas of what a manager should be. So it's going to be more difficult to bring his man management style and transport it into this dressing room as well.
And you mentioned that he was a pundit during the Champions League semi-finals and he was criticising Chelsea, I do believe, for their lack of attacking. Now, he said in his press conference today he was going to bring an offensive style of football. Do you think Celtic fans will be surprised by his tactics?
Yeah, look, as you said, he basically said that he'd rather go out of the Champions League than play the kind of football Chelsea does. He's very much... That's something he does on the field as well. He's very much. It's not an all-out defence. It's 4-3-3. It's quick transitions. It's pressing. And it's keeping the ball on the ground. So, but yeah, he always attacks. He might have to learn to be a bit more defensively structured as well. But then again, for example, Strømsgodset hasn't lost at home in almost 3 years in the league. So, if you keep the ball, you also don't let in any goals.
Now, Thomas Deila has arguably come in at a difficult time. All the players are off on holiday at the World Cup. How big an issue is that?
I don't think it's an issue because they'll return for pre-season and he'll start work with them. He did mention he's got, packs of DVDs. I think he's got 4 years worth, he said he could watch. So he's got a lot of TV watching to do. And I think if he does that, he'll do his research. I'm sure he'll be speaking to people at the club. He'll perhaps even phone Neil Lennon to ask his opinion on the players. So he'll get up to speed very quickly, I'd imagine.
Now, Deila's first game in charge is going to be the Champions League qualifier. How big a game is that for Celtic now?
It is a game that Celtic should, regardless of the opponents, they should be able to come through, but they're pressure-packed games. One bad day at the office, you could find yourself out the competition. So he's got to hit the ground running. That's the big thing. I'm pretty sure the supporters will look for their team to go through, and it would be, I wouldn't go as far as say it'd be a disastrous start if they don't, but it would put them under a wee bit of pressure.
Now, Christian, he's had some success at Strømsgodset, if I'm saying that correct. What would be the equivalent if he was to be in Scotland in terms of the club size?
I've always compared Drammen, where the club is from, a bit to Paisley in terms of just being outside a big city and those kind of things. I think it's probably the same as taking a club like Motherwell to the league title and a cup winners. So, and doing that on probably the budget of a St Mirren. So the achievement he's done and the way he's done it, and just based on his age as well, it's quite incredible.
And lastly, Thomas, he is 38. Is that an issue?
No, it isn't. I'm sure that what he'll have to do is gain the respect of the players. He'll get that by the way he conducts himself in the dressing room, how he conducts himself in the training pitch. But I don't see age as a factor. It's a fairly young side as well. I don't think there'll be any players older than him, so he should be okay.
And Christian, no pressure, but in a word, will Deila be a success at Celtic?
Yes.
Well, there we go. It's conclusive. That's Thomas Jordan from the Sunday Post and Norwegian football expert Christian Wulff. And from out here at the STV Glasgow bus at Parkhead, it's back to the studio.
Thank you, Colin. And it's not just football that our Colin's been covering today. Yep, our series journalist decided to interview one of the organisers of the Govan Fair on the waltzers. Now, isn't that one of the worst ideas in TV history?
So I'm trying to conduct a serious interview whilst on a whirling tour with the chairman of the Govan Fair, Lord Jimmy Stringfellow. How excited are you for tonight's event and for the weekend?
Am I excited? No, I'm not as excited as I should be because the waltzers should be going faster.
Oh dear, this is a great idea.
This is one of the most famous rides on the fair. The waltzers, it's always been famous.
Yeah. And as for the fair itself and the importance to Govan, how important is it to
It's
Govan?
fantastic for Govan the Fair. Absolutely fantastic. It's the main event here after the parade. Main event. Now we're going another way, anti-clockwise. Are you okay? Would you like a wee basket?
I'm good.
Are you sure you're okay?
All good. Yeah.
You need a drink of water or something?
I think it's,
Will I call a nurse?
I need something stronger than water, I think.
Oh dear, poor Colin. We saw it in the package earlier, but that was the unedited
Oh
footage.
no!
And
I sympathise.
I
sympathise. I do. One time I had to go on Oblivion on the TV, which is like a horrible ride in Alton Towers.
Yeah.
And it's the only time, believe it or not, that I couldn't speak. I was just a wreck. I was like a little jelly at the bottom. I was because I don't like those things anyway, and they made me do it. It was mean.
It is mean. We were maybe a wee bit mean to Colin earlier, but
he loved it.
Yeah, it'll be fine. He'll get over it. It's all part of the experience.
Exactly.
It's good. It's good. Anyway.